Hey guys, how are you? Bricks Nostalgia here. Today I would like to review with you this custom train that you see here in front of you that I put together over the last couple of weeks. We are gonna get into the set itself in a minute. I just wanted to tell you very briefly, however, first what are the reasons that led me to put this set together. So let me take this vintage catalog and what you can see here is the very iconic vintage Lego set 7740. Now I do have this train, but to be honest, I really don't like its look. I think it has a very raw look and it looks very ugly for being a passenger train. So a couple of weeks ago, while I was tidying up my collection, I thought about taking the pieces of this set and change it, put together a custom version of it, something that I would have preferred. Now in general, the type of passenger trains that I like are the high-speed train type ones, like for example this one, the 7745 from 1985. I do have this set. I like a lot its look and I'm definitely gonna keep it like that with no customizations. And another one that I quite like a lot is for example the legendary, very iconic 4558 set, the Metroliner from the early 90s. And this is actually the set that got my attention, not just because I realized that I could put together something of this type with the pieces I had available, but also because this set has something very interesting, that is this other set that came out a couple of years after, which is a double-deck car called Club Car, which is a very iconic, very nice set that was sold separately, that was supposed to combine with this one. So what I thought was, I don't have this train, it costs a lot of money, I'm not planning to buy it anytime soon, so why not put together a nice speed train looking like this, that has instead of this middle car, this one that has this, this car instead of this one in the middle. So I just started, I got my pieces out, put something, worked on putting something together for of decent looking for a couple of weeks, and this is what came out. So let's get to the review of the build itself. The only thing I would like to point out first is that I'm gonna break down this review in two videos. In this one I'm just gonna go through the two cars, the two locomotives that compose the front and the back of the train, and then I'm gonna discuss this wagon here in a separate video, and when the video will be uploaded you can find the link to it down in the description below. Okay, I'm gonna do it just because this one requires some time to discuss all the considerations, the important considerations related to it. Okay, so let's get to it. Okay, so let's have a look at the first of the two cars. This one is actually the real locomotive, the one that actually has the real motor attached to it. As you can see, the shape of it is very similar to the one of the original Metroliner, just obviously the color scheme is different. It's mainly in yellow, as yellow is the main color of the original 7740. We can have a look here. We're gonna start with the front. As you can see, the front is a brick build. I like a lot what came out of it, because even if it's not the smoothest shape, I really like to try to put together whatever I put together using very regular bricks to the maximum extent, and this is because I think this allows the core concept of Lego to be implemented at its best. So it's a bit square, but I really like it a lot. I think it came out fairly well with the possibilities, with the limited possibilities I had. As you can see, mainly I've been using a lot of slopes here, and the wind shield that you see here is this one, and it's a very old wind shield that was existed already in the 70s, I think. But yeah, its size was ideal for the type of build I was trying to put together, so this is what came out. Now if we move to the side, as you can see, it's very normal with a door to access the driver's cabin. Then here we have this middle section in red with these two doors that, if open up, allow access to the fake engine, the brick build engine that is over here. Red doors, even if there are other colors available, simply because the red color was the only one available on Bricklink at the time I had to do the purchase to get the pieces that I needed to finish putting this build together. However, I think it looks very nice. These to get this whole panel in red looks nice because it breaks a bit the color over the whole length of the locomotive. I think it looks really good, so I'm very happy that things are this way. Now if we move to the roof, we can easily remove it. We're gonna get to remove two sections, and this allows us to have a quick look at what's inside. And as you can see, we have the driver's control panel over here. Unfortunately, everything is quite heavily hidden because I have no windows over here, so it's not easy to see the details of the cabin, the control cabin. Over here in the middle we have a better view of the brick built motor that was heavily inspired by the original Metroliner. And then here we have a little bar section where we have a couple of minifigs standing, and where here there is we can pretend it's a coffee machine, and this guy is somebody that is serving a hot drink to this lady over here. So this is it pretty much for this locomotive. So what I will do is to move to the second one. Okay, for this second locomotive, the outer look is exactly identical to the real locomotive that we just had a look. So look at that. So what I'm gonna do now is just to take the roof off and show you the inner part of the build. And once again we have exactly the same build that was present in the previous car with the drive section. Here, this middle section, instead of having a motor, has a whole area that is supposed to be a space dedicated to keeping bicycles. I like a lot this idea. It reflects what can be done in real trains, and as you can see, I just have one broken bike here because I just have this one to show you to use as an example, but you could fit up to two. And I really like this concept. It's taken again from the original Metroliner's build, and I like it a lot because it reflects what can be done in what can be found in real locomotives. Over here we just have a table with 2 seats for 2 passengers, so nothing special over here. Okay guys, I'm about to wrap it up for this video. There's just a couple of things that I would like to point out. The first one is about doors. These doors are the ones from the original 7740, and so they're supposed to be yellow on top, and here they're supposed to have a whole red stripe. Well, I covered this whole thing using electrical tape, so using yellow tape first, and then I made these 3 lines with red, white and blue electrical tape. This is not very languish, but allowed me to use all the doors that I had available from the original 7740 to suit the needs for this build, so which in other words allowed me to save a lot of money, because I didn't have to buy stickers or doors of different color. And once again, I would like to go as last thing, I would like to go back to the front of these 2 locomotives and saying that yes, at the moment they're brick built, but I got my hands in the last bricking link order I did on these couple of pieces, and I will be exploring. They come from the original Metroliner, and I'm gonna be exploring over the next few weeks if there is any chance that I can put this piece instead of this one and shape everything up again in order to keep this as the permanent version of the locomotives. I really like a lot this build, especially because it's brick built, but this would allow the chance to use the use of this specialized piece would allow for a higher level of detail on the front of these cars. So I'm definitely gonna try with it. I will eventually post an update over the next few weeks if I will be successful at the attempt. So guys, pretty much this is it for this video, and I'm gonna redirect you to the second part of this review where I will be reviewing the club car. Okay, so thank you very much. I'll see you later.